Hi, everybody. Hello, how are you today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is launch day at My Favorite Things. We have a new card kit today, and it's super cool, super fun. Layering stencils, something different for MFT. And so I'm going to go over the kit and the add-ons and do a little demo of how the stencils work. Show you some really cool things about what thought went into designing these products. And yeah, it'll be fun. So hello, everybody. Say hi in the comments. So I know here's who is here today. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you. I'm live on both YouTube and Facebook for My Favorite Things. And if I haven't said it already, I think I may have forgotten to. My name's Libby, and I'm the marketing director at My Favorite Things. And yeah, so let's get started on this. Don't see a lot of chit chat yet. Hello, Sharon. So I want to just jump right in and show you guys the products. Hi, Shelly. I'm going to give another second because I don't want to rush through the products and then I do it before anybody's even here in time. Hi, Tiffany. Tiffany's from our design team, and yes, the kit is so good. I'm going to put that on the screen because it's so true. Thank you, Tiffany. Hi, Mari, and hello, Joan. Hi, friend Joan. Nice to see you guys. Okay, so I don't want to keep you guys too long today, so I'm going to go ahead and go to my overhead layout. First of all, though, I have to comment on what Tiffany just said. How about them Lions? Yeah, I grew up in Michigan, and so my husband did too, and he's super excited about football right now with the Detroit Lions winning a playoff game. Super cool. I still want to make a Detroit Lions themed card with the Lions Valentine set from earlier in the month. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. Looking forward to seeing everything. Yay. All right. Now, without any further ado, I'm not going to talk about football because I know a lot of you couldn't care less. I'm going to go to my overhead view and we're going to talk about this fun new kit. All right. So I have everything in this little stack here. Hi, Carly. Carly's on our design team too. She makes such beautiful cards. And I'm going to show one from Tiffany today that kind of took my breath away. I don't have a whole lot of card samples to show you today because instead of going through those, I was going to take some time today to actually demo the products so you can see how they work. So this is the main thing in the kit this month. It is called Flower Fusion, and it is a set of 5 stencils. You can see that mine are not in perfect, pristine condition because I have already used them a bit, but it's 5 stencils to create a beautiful layered floral scene. And so this is a printout, but it's gigantic. But that kind of shows you an idea of how that all comes together with the different colors of ink and the different layers of stencils. And I have this up here just as a little guide for later when I'm demoing. But I wanted to show you that. And I'll show you a couple card samples from the team in a minute as well. So the layering stencils do the different parts of the flowers, different flowers, leaves. You know, you can pick your inks. You can do a whole rainbow and variety of ink when you're doing these. But I'll do a demo of that in just a second. Moving on to some other things in the kit, there are 2 different stencils. There is the Smart Mask High-Low Strip. Let me just take this all out of packaging. Sorry for the sound of the packaging. I should have done it before taking them back out because I've had them out, but sorry for that. That might sound terrible on the live stream, and I apologize for that. So this is called High-Low because you either can make a message strip low or you can make it high, just turning around your stencil, which way you want to use it. And I'll show you what's happening with that in just a second. And then this one is called Smart Mask Center Strip. And so these stencils are great with the kit, with the flower stencils that we are having in this kit, but they're also great on their own. Just imagine putting that down on your cardstock and you can make like some ink blending in these spots and it leaves a white space or whatever color cardstock you're on because you're masking it off. So these are a super great tool to have in your card making arsenal. And this is all available as a kit right now, which is a great savings on the products if you buy it as a kit, but all the products are going to be available separately as well. So just wanted to mention that to you guys. All right, so there's all the stencils in the kit. There is also a really nice, well, let's go to this one first. This is really nice as well. This is essential messages. And then just look at these messages. They're just things for all kinds of reasons and occasions and purposes for sending cards to friends and families, acquaintances. And guys, I'm sorry about my lighting. It seems a little dark and I tried out a new setup and I think it's not perfect. So I apologize. I'm still working on it. Hopefully by the next live, I'll have it just wonderful. But hopefully you can see this okay. So the messages in this are just a note. Hello, friend. Get well soon. Miss you. Sending happy thoughts. Thank you for being you. Happiest birthday. Congratulations. So very sorry. Sending hugs. I appreciate you. You're in my thoughts. Love you and thank you and thanks so much. And so, again, with my packaging, I'm sorry. The idea with these message strips is that they fit perfectly in the section of white space that you create with your stencil. So can you see what I'm doing there? If this is the white space left on your card, those messages fit perfectly in that space. I'll demo this on a card in a minute so you can see it a little better, and I'll show you some samples, but that's the thought behind this. Of course, you can use this throughout the year on any kind of cards. It's a beautiful font and a great message set, but it works perfectly with those new masking stencils. Now, also in the kit is this hello message with a nice shadow die as well. It does cut all the letters separately, so you'll have to piece them onto your card, and it's such a pretty font on this die as well. This is called Essential Hello Dynamics. It goes perfectly with the font because it is the same font. If you see the H here is the same as the H there. So, it coordinates perfectly on there. Let's see if you can even mix and match some of these. You could do hello, you're in my thoughts together. You could do hello, sending hugs. Hello, sending happy thoughts. Hello, love you. There's some that you can mix and match if you wanted to put both things on your card. And then rounding out the kit itself is a beautiful selection of cardstock. So these are all the colors of cardstock that are in the kit. You get a full rainbow of beautiful colors to use on your cards, and very, very pretty. Okay, let me set that aside. Put it behind me here. And let me show you a couple example cards using the main kit products. Let's see here. Here's a gorgeous one from Anya from the team. So you can see here, she used the high-low smart stencil, and you can see she used the low option. And so when she did her stenciling of her florals, she kept that space blank with white space by using that really clever stencil. And then she stamped her message right there in the center. This one is from Nikki, and she also used the low version of the high-low, and she did sending happy thoughts. And this is Senhura, and she used the other one, the center one, which I'm drawing a blank right now on what it's called, center strip. Well, very obvious, smart mask center strip. And you can see that she left the space blank right in the center and added her message there. So lots of options with those stencils to use together. Of course, you can use the layering stencils and not use the mask if you don't want to leave a strip, but I just think it's so clever to be able to leave that space for your message. So here is a look at the full kit, all the things I just showed you together. It's called the Flower Fusion Card Kit. It's available on the MFT site in limited quantity. So if you love it, get to mftstamps.com and grab it before it's gone. Let's see, it is $51.99 for the full kit. And that is, I think, 25% off what they would be individually. So it's a great value for that kit. And then in addition to the kit itself, there are a couple add-ons, 3 add-ons in particular that you could also add if you wanted to. And I love this one so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so pretty. And my lighting's terrible, I'm sorry. Sketchy blooms. You can see they are sketchy indeed. They're beautiful. You could just gold or silver or metallic emboss this on a colored cardstock or on a watercolored or ink blended background. You can watercolor the images themselves. You can just stamp them black and white. Just lots of ways you could use this beautiful set. We also have stitched diamond stacks. So diamond shaped stacks nesting die set. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes of diamonds in this. You could use them horizontal or vertical, either way. And then I want to take the little paper out of this because it makes it so you can't see the whole beautiful background, but there is a background stamp. This is called Cascading Diamonds background. Oh, can you see that at all? You just see the reflection of my camera. I don't know why I have so much reflection issues today, but there we go. You can use it in either orientation again with those diamonds. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Let me show you some card samples to make it a little bit easier for you to see these things in use. First of all, this one from Senhura again uses those beautiful blooms in the background. She used the nesting diamonds, and I love how she inlaid some blue diamonds along with the, ones right from the background, and then she used the hello that's in the main kit with it, and you can see how that hello looks on there. And this one is from Laura, and she used that cascading diamond background. You can see what a beautiful background that is. And then she used the diamonds, she used the hello. And then this card from Tiffany blew me away. I think it's so beautiful. The coloring she did on that with her distress watercolor pencils. It's just so pretty. And so you can get a really artistic watercolor look by using that stamp set, which I love. All right. So what do you guys think? Loving the release? See if there's any questions because I wasn't in the area. Diane says she must have had a say in 2 of those colors in the paper pack. They must be ones that she likes. Great card kit, adding to the wish list. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So again, it is available as a kit right now. And if you want to get it at the great 25% off savings, get it before it's gone. There is also the whole kit and caboodle option that is the kit and all the add-ons together. And that's also great savings as well. All right. So I'm going to use my Make Art Station today to do a little demo of the layering. This is just, one of many ways to stencil. I don't know if you guys have this tool, but it's magnet. So that's how I like to hold my stencils down on the magnetic piece. And I'm going to just take a piece of white cardstock here. Take a little repositionable adhesive and put it down. Let's see. I'm just going to put it. I don't know why I'm even lining it up on the lines because that really doesn't matter. Okay, there's a few things I want to show you. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. When I get a layering stencil set like this, I don't have the greatest eyesight in the world, and I like to be able to see along the bottom here. You can't even tell, but it says my favorite things. It has the step number of the stencil. It says what the name of the stencil set is. So what I like to do, this may be shocking, I don't know. Let me take this piece of paper here. I just take my black ink pad and I just run it right along that etching at the bottom that has that info. This is just something I like to do with these kind of stencils. You certainly don't have to, but if you've never done it, I wanted to give you the idea. And then I take a cloth and buff that back off again to get it off my stencil, but it stays down in that etching. Oops. Don't bend your stencil in the process. And then I can see what that says. I can see that it's Flower Fusion Stencil Step 5. And I had already done that on my other stencils. I just saved one to show you guys. And that's just something I like to do so that I can see which stencil is which because I can't see that etching otherwise. So the other cool thing about this stencil set is you can kind of see on this one because I've already used it. And so ink got down in that etching as well. But on the subsequent layer, so you start with step 1, which is the big floral elements. There's 3 flowers in there. You can see a little better like that. And so you're going to start by stenciling on those flowers. And then to line it up on subsequent layers, you're going to just look for that etching of those flowers and line them up using that as your guide. And it makes it super easy to see where to line things up. All right. So back to the old demo here. Yeah, I scraped my nail polish on there, so it's got a little pink line, but maybe that doesn't even show up on screen. Hi, Leanne, and hello, Carly. Hello, hello. Did I ever say hi to Carly? I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself here. Okay. So I'm just picking where I want this to be. Doesn't matter. It could be like, totally off center or however. I'm just going to want it to be the same when I'm lining up all the stencils. Actually, I'm not going to put that down yet. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just use a little piece of tape so I can make sure I don't muck this up during my demo. I don't technically need to use tape since I'm using my magnets, but why not? Why not? I'm going to just put that there just to double make sure that that stencil stays in place. And then I'm going to take my, I'm going to do it like this since everybody else was doing it on the low on the samples that I pulled. I'm going to do it on the high. And then I'm going to put that down with my magnets. And so now, can you see what's happening here? Does it even show? My mask stencil is on top of my layering stencil. And so that's going to cover up that white strip that I'm going to leave for my message. Again, you don't need to use the mask, but that smart mask is a pretty clever way to be able to add a strip of white or whatever color you're on as far as your base cardstock to have a place to leave your message. So super duper clever. I love it. It's going to be a staple in my stash, I think, going forward. Okay, so now I'm going to pick some inks. I'm just using the sample that they did on the computer when they designed this. I'm going to use Poppin' Pink. I'm going to use Lemon Drop, Orange Zest, Sour Apple, and actually I changed it up. I'm not doing blue. I'm doing a light purple because I love light purple. So I'm going to start with my hot pink, my Poppin' Pink. I'm going to pull out my little ink stand here to hold my ink pad. Okay, so there's several ways you can do your inking. I don't know how I'm sure a lot of you have used stencils, but in case you haven't, I just want to talk about the ways to do stenciling. You can use a blending brush, such as this. You could just ink it up a little. I like to have paper to tap off on. Actually, you could do that in the top of your lid as well. And when you're doing it this way, you're just going to blend it on, moving in little circles. My magnet's a little in the way. I can scoot it. Okay. You can also use something like a paper pouncer. These are the mini paper pouncers. In this case, you just ink it up like this and then pounce it onto your project. And see, I'm getting different intensity based on which one I'm using and how much ink I'm adding. And that's a fun way that you can add interest on your project as well, as you can make it, like, for example, oops, dropped it. On this one that I did a little bit lighter, I could now take this and just go more right in the center and darken it in the center so it kind of has a gradation as it goes out. Let's see if I can kind of, you see what happened under there on those petals? It's kind of fun. You can add a little darker on the center of this. I can always go back, tone on tone with the same ink. My finished panel is going to look maybe a little wonky because I'm doing different things here, but I just wanted to give you guys some ideas. Or you can use this kind of blending brush, different kind of blending brush that's kind of popular these days. And this is great for these little dots that are on this stencil as well. Of course, if you have a sponge or a Ranger tool, all the different ways that you can go about adding this ink to your project. I want to do this one again. I kind of like that two-tone look that I was getting. You can also, by the way, pick up some of that ink that's on your stencil and use that. I put this back in here already. Okay. So I do need to do a fair amount of cleaning in between, because that's one thing about when you're using this mask layer is you are going to want to clean the mask in between so you don't spread the ink that you don't want to spread, if that makes sense. Okay. Lifting that up, lifting this up. I'm just going to leave my paper right on the panel. I don't need to clean this one right now. I'll wait till after I'm live so you don't have to watch me clean all the things. But I do want to get some of this pink ink off of my stencil, and I am just using a baby wipe here. Oops, a spray. Okay, be way more careful than I just was, because you don't want to mess up your stencil, but you want to gently clean your stencil. But you want a spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol is a really great way to clean your stencil so that you can make sure it's clean, it dries quickly, and it's not going to transfer ink. But hopefully that'll be okay. I'm going to skip step 2 right now because that's all those flower centers, and I think I want to come in and add those in at the end. So I'm going to go to the one that would be my yellow layer, and I lied about leaving it there. I'm actually going to lift this up because I did find that that can make it a little bit easier to see, for me anyway, to line up those flowers. Now, can you see that on camera at all? I don't know if you can, but remember we have our etched flowers, and that's what I'm looking at to line up the subsequent layers. Okay, and it's pretty darn easy to do. All right, I still have my tape on the back of my first panel. I'm going to go ahead and, my repositionable adhesive. I'm going to put my tape back down there, and then I'm going to take this, and this one, remember, I'm lining up with the stencil itself, and that's how I make sure that that one's in the same place every time. Is this all making sense, guys? I hope so. All right, and I'm going to take my yellow ink for this flower. Do you, Tiffany, when you say put the mask down first, do you mean just kind of on a hinge? You could put it on a hinge and open and close it? Because the mask, I definitely, oh, I see what you're saying. Have it right against your paper. Guys, that is so much smarter than the way I'm doing it. Good call, Tiffany. That makes more sense. Put your mask down first, and you could even adhere that to your stencil, to your cardstock. Let's just do that. I'm just going to show that because you are right. Oh my goodness, my brain. That does make a lot more sense. What Tiffany is saying and what makes sense is take your mask first and put that on your cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape that in place so it doesn't move throughout this process. You can do it either way. The way I was doing it works perfectly fine, but I do think what Tiffany is saying makes a lot of sense because then you can be sure that you're not going to accidentally move your stencil. You can tell that she had more time to experiment with the best way to do this. I am still going to put a little tape on the back of that to hold it to my Make Art station. Then I just had it down on there. So now when I do this, and I'm going to go back to step one, do it again. Dun, dun, dun. Make sure I'm lining that up where I want it. Go back to my pink. Goodbye yellow for a second here. Yeah, the masks are really brilliant. I think you guys get what I'm saying with this. Either way works. I like this idea, and I had just been doing it the other way. So now that she mentions it, I want to try it this way as well. We'll just do it kind of quick so that we can keep on moving with our layers. Okay. Nikki, I'm glad you're here. You're not too late. You're just in time to keep partying with us. Nikki mentioned she's a little late to the flower fusion party. If you're not, oops. And then I moved it anyway, guys. I'm such a dope. There we go. I think it's fine. In this case, is there pink on my, I think there's still pink. The only thing is that with this, if I'm not going to move that, I'm going to have to be careful because there is some ink on the mask itself. And so we'll have to be careful about that. Let's see here, I'm putting down the layer for the yellow. I can put these magnets wherever there is big areas for it. And Nikki, by the way, is another member of our design team at MFT. Makes beautiful samples. So now I'm just using the yellow. Yellow, I think that was right on the mask that I just did. And actually, if you wanted to be more precise, one of those smaller brushes that I showed would be a way to make sure you're not getting yellow all over the place where you don't want it. But these pouncers sure make it quick and easy, I have to say. They also kind of make a different look. If you're using the pouncer, it's a little bit of a different look than when you're using the brushes and different tools. So anyway, my point is there's lots of tools you can use for this and play with your tools because it can be fun as well. Yeah, there's a lot of colors. I'm making a very vibrant one with these pouncers, I have to say. It was a lot softer when I used the like the Hero Arts brush, for example. And I forgot to do my little pink dots on that first one, but that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna go into number 4. I'm still skipping number 5 for now. I mean, number 2 for now, because that was the dots for the centers. I want to hold off on those. So I'm lining it up with the stencil, and that is a great way to do it because then I know that it's going to line up because they're all the same size rather than using the actual etching on here. So that's another thing to think about, is that you can just line it up right with the stencil this way. Let's see, I hope it lines up perfectly. I think it should. Because I do find that if I'm lining it up with the etching on the layered stencil, it is easier for me personally to lift it up and look because of my eyesight, basically. I can see it easier that way. Okay, so now I'm going in with the green. Yeah, quick full coverage with the pouncers. If you wanted to do more of a gradation of your color, some of the other ways make it a little bit easier. But I don't know, I liked that first one that I did where I combined the brush with the pouncer, and you can get that two-tone color. I don't know. There's lots of tools, lots of fun things to do with your tools and experiment. This is just a quick and easy version I'm doing now with kind of uniform color on each layer. But as we know, you can really get creative with your blend within a stencil opening. Like it would be really pretty to go in and selectively add a darker green to like the bottoms, you know, the bases of these leaves, or, you know, you can really step it up. You can be simple and you can step it up. And that's what I love about this. You can also, if you're really feeling motivated, is add some embossing ink through the stencil. And you could do one of the layers with embossing. So you stencil right through the stencil, stencil right through the stencil with embossing ink, and then you could add powder and set it, and that would be really pretty too. Yep, putting them in a stamping platform and butt it up against the edge. Yes, that's absolutely another way to do it as well. That's a trick a lot of people use. Like if you take your MISTI, you can put the stencils right in the corner of your MISTI, and that is an easy way to keep them aligned as well. Seriously, so many ways to do stencils. whatever is the way that makes you most comfortable, go for it, you know? All right, I'm gonna do my next flower, which is my purples. Just make sure you don't have your stencil upside down because that would throw you off a bit. Again, I'm just lining this all up. But since they are all the same size stencil, that makes it super easy to line it up. Well, you know, the size of the stencil and also the fact that there's those etched flowers, it all combines to make it really, really, really easy to use. Yes. What Tiffany's talking about, I have that actually right here. I could have done it in this. This is my MISTI, and I have that waffle flower silicone mat in there. It's sticky. You can't even see it, but it is there. Can you listen? So what you would do is put your cardstock in there and then butt it right up against that as well. I mean, you would actually maybe butt up your stencil, but my cardstock, well, you can start with a bigger piece of cardstock, whatever you want to do. all the ways are good. Okay. Let's get in here with this purple and we can see the finished look of this. And then we'll die cut that hello. We'll add the message. I do still have to add my other dots that I missed. From stencil 2. I feel like I have a stray yellow. I hope you guys didn't see me go upside down with something, did you? I hope not. Sometimes I get talking and looking at comments and don't really think before I start inking, which is sad. I think I'm inking right now on my stencil mask. But look at how pretty that's coming together. So pretty. All right, so the one I haven't done yet are all these little dots that I was going to do in orange. I don't think that the mini pouncers are in the MFT shop, Tiffany. I don't think they are right now. Just something I have from my stash. I was just showing all the ways you can use different tools, but if you love them, let us know. Might be a good thing to look into. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my orange. Yeah, I'm going to do the brush for this one just because they're such little spots. Do that again. So these are adding a lot of centers to different flowers. Little dots in the background. And again, you could selectively do this. You could, some of these dots, you could do different colors than others. Just depends on how fussy you want to get with it. But it makes it have lots of creative options for you, just depending on what you feel like doing on your project to make it your own. Look how cute that looks with all that orange dots everywhere. Okay, the big reveal. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too much. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, you guys. So not only does it leave the border or I'm sorry, not only does it leave the space for me to add my message, but it also leaves a nice white border around there, which I could leave. I could just do that on my whole card front and leave it. Or you could use your trimmer and then cut it down and have that as a layer. You could pop it up and have it as a layer on your project. I think I had a little boo-boo right there. I'm not sure what I did to make that happen, but that's okay. Isn't that pretty? Love it. You could take some enamel dots or sequins and put them in the centers of some of your flowers. Let's see, Jennifer's asking, I missed the beginning. What ink colors are you using? Let me just show you right here. The ink colors were Poppin' Pink, Orange Zest, Grapesicle, Lemon Drop, and Sour Apple. So I did a really vibrant color scheme. Obviously, you could mix it up, do softer colors. You could do softer blending through the stencil. I made it really, vibrant. Words are escaping me today, which is not good because I have another class I need to teach at 5. So I need to get a handle on my words. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this in my MISTI now and add a message there in the center space so I can show you how that works. And then I do also want to die cut the hello message so that you can see that as well. And I do have my waffle flower mat in there, so it's holding it down. Let me grab, where did I put the word stamps? Here they are. I'm going to do thank you for being you because that's such a pretty message. And I'm using brand new stamps that I haven't stamped yet. So let's do the biggest message possible so that I can really mess it up. Just kidding, of course. Now, should I do it in black so it pops off, or should I do it in a color that'll match one of the colors in my florals? I'm not sure. Any thoughts on that? Here, I'm going to pick up my stamp. Hopefully it's centered in there. I could have put a little grid or something to help me see. I'm going to go ahead and just put this piece of paper in here and stamp on that to begin with. Chocolate would be nice. Oh, that would be pretty, wouldn't it? Like it'll be not quite as harsh as a black, but I don't have it right here in front of me, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pull in more of the purple, I think, because that's what I love. And if I hate it, I could always go over it in black. Yeah, you could totally pop that out as well. Although if you pop it out, stamp on another white piece and pop it out with a, yeah, you can totally do that, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of using that stencil to leave that white space. Because if I was just popping it out on another piece of cardstock, I wouldn't have needed to use that, leave that space. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I have my tool right here, and yet I'm pushing with my fingers. Oh, use the bright pink. Well, sorry, Tracy. I didn't. Yeah, I probably would have popped a little better than this grapesicle, but purple makes me happy. I want to do another card where I'm just using shades of purple on this. I think that would be so pretty. Purple and green. There we go. That's pretty though, isn't it? Thank you for being you. And again, I could just use that as my card front, or I could trim it down and have a piece that I pop up on another piece. if you know what I'm saying. Let's see. I'm not going to do that now because you get the idea. But isn't that fun? There's so many things you could do. You could do embossing, like I said, through the stencil. You could, one thing I took a class with Jen Shirkis over the weekend, and we did the stress pencils through a stencil. And I think we could have done that on here as well. I'm not going to do it because my stencils are so inky right now, but you would just kind of color with like a watercolor pencil along the edges and then pull that in with your water. And I would use watercolor paper for that, not regular cardstock. And that would be a really pretty way to do it as well. But let's take a look at the message die real quick. The hello die. Hi, Ruth. How are you? Yeah, you can use acetate to see if it's straight. That's a great tip from Susan. There's a lot of things that I do when I'm being more careful all alone in my craft room than I do in live, which I guess is silly because you guys want to know all the good tips, right? I don't know. I have to get out of that space of wanting to just not take up too much of your time. And so I don't do all the careful things. So anyway, I haven't separated these yet. So I'm going to separate these just to show you how this one comes together. So of course the shadow, you could do it in whatever color you want. I love it in vellum, but it would be pretty in different colors of cardstock or however you want to do it. I'm going to die cut this real quick. Hold on one second here. Okay. So, I wouldn't do this on the same card, but you can picture that if it was on there, it would be pretty. And then you could take, I loved how Laura Basson had a video on our YouTube channel today, and she did it in brushed gold, which I thought was so pretty. I think I'm going to try it in the brushed silver. Go ahead and trim this down. Okay. Now, when it cuts these letters, they are separate. They're not all connected together. Okay. So here is this beautiful hello. Again, I use the brush silver. I hope I shouldn't have gone through it twice on my die cutting machine. Let's see. Nope, it pops right out perfectly. No problem at all. And oh my gosh, look at how pretty that is. And Tiffany mentioned that Laura on the design team used different colors of embossing powder on each stencil. So you could use a dark starting layer, and then you could do the dark, not the dark, the colors of embossing powder. That's a really cool way to use the stencils as well. So you can see how that would look, especially if you had the full thing embossed without that center strip. And that's not on there straight, but you get the idea. It'd be really fun to pop that up. Let's just go ahead and do it. And then I will put this on a card after the live. The way I would do this is I would use my little strip foam adhesives. A lot of times I just rip these. Sometimes they don't mind me doing that, and sometimes they get angry at me. And by them, I mean the foam. H. Okay, I am going to have to cut these. Can you guys give me a little feedback on how this looks right now? Can you see what I'm doing very well? What do you think of the white glass background? I would love to know your thoughts on that. I think I need to adjust my lighting a little because we had way too much weird glare when I was going through the products. but I'm trying to figure it all out. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Um, yeah, like I mentioned, I took a class with my friend Jen Shirkus. She's my trade show BFF, and I did it just for fun. And I don't always do classes like that myself, and so it was fun trying to keep up with all the fun things Jen was showing us in class. Okay, you guys can see things. Good. Okay, good. Yeah, Jennifer, I had some pretty nasty glare when I was going through the products, which I didn't love. So I guess it depends on what I'm doing. Yeah, the plastic packaging. That is true. I could just make sure and take them all out so that I don't have that glare to begin with. But even, was it still the packaging when I could see my reflection right in what I was showing? I don't remember. Maybe it was. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to try with my tweezers here. Yeah, sorry for my arm, my reach. Right, I'm going to do the hello. A lot of times I like to put a little fine line of adhesive. I don't know if I should when it's vellum, but I'm going to anyway. On here, because that just kind of gives it a little bit more wiggle room as well. Kind of makes the, what do you call it? The foam adhesive not as, it makes it a little more forgiving is what I'm trying to say. Right, so that goes right down in there. I'm not going to get these in the wrong places. Okay. Oh, good idea to use your negative. These girls are so smart, I tell you. So smart. That would have been a good idea to probably use both pieces together, and then you'd know exactly where to put them. If you didn't, I'm sorry, if you're not on YouTube where Tiffany is, she mentioned that she likes to use the negative piece. Can't get my mouse to work. Oh, because I'm way over on my other screen. Hello. There's a lot of good comments and suggestions in the comments. I need to remember to say them out loud because not everybody's on the same platform. So that is that is a good tip. Okay, I already put some on there. But you can also see like the little, you can see the outline of the letter basically, and you can kind of tell where it's going to go. So either way. Even on camera far enough. Sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. So you can see it's not hard to do. And if I had used the little template, I'm sure it's not lined up perfectly. If you would have used that, it would make it even better to line it up. See how I'm a little off, but that's a really great tip for doing these kind of messages. And if I just had this part on my card, I could put that right on there and look how pretty that is. Love it. Okay, so I think that is a good overview of everything in the kit. We did have blog posts today and yesterday with card samples. And so I hope you guys love this one. Again, it is the layering stencils, the mask, 2 different masking stencils, the message set of essential messages, and the really cool hello die and shadow die. And so, yeah, that's it. I'm trying to wrap my head around what I'm doing here. All right, guys. So that was a quick overview of today's kit launch. Again, the kit is available while supplies last as a kit. You can also buy all the things separately if you want to do it that way, but every single thing in the kit is amazing and you should grab it while you can. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in today. And thank you if you're watching on replay. I hope it was helpful to see the things in action. And I will see you again next time. All right. Take care, everybody.